Yes, my people, big program, back again, you already know what it is, sneakers, kicks and creps. It's episode 30 of Your Sneaker and Lifestyle podcast, Kicks Chronicles. There's been a few bits that have happened in the news, in the culture, and I want to talk about them. So yeah, we're going to do a little bit of news. We're going to throw the news in first. Let's talk about it. First thing I want to talk about Fear of God and Adidas. Now, Fear of God and Adidas. A few weeks ago, I spoke about it's been a couple of years since the announcement of the deal. We haven't really heard anything. And then all of a sudden, in March, there was an announcement of a sample. We saw a sample, right, of a Fear of God Adidas basketball sneaker, right? And from all accounts that I've heard, seen, read, and watched, including my own, and feel free to go and watch that. That sample looked like a rip-off of a Yeezy 750, right? It looked like a straight bite, and everyone said it. And then obviously that got back to Jerry, and he highlighted the fact that that's not a true reflection of what they were about to put out. That was an early sample, just kind of kicking ideas around. It's not the true reflection of what's actually going to pop off. And he confirmed to Complex that there was going to be a collection dropping in April. And the collections drop, people, right? So let's talk about the collection. But more importantly, let's talk about what the shoe actually looks like. The shoe looks different to the sample. Not massively different, but it looks different. It's giving me a little bite from another designer, right? Right? But it's a little off field. Or on field. We can talk about that a little bit later. But firstly, let's talk about the shoe. Now, it's a boot silhouette similar to a lot of what Fear of God does, and we're gonna talk about that a little bit later as well. Upper is predominantly mesh. It's a neoprene tongue. When I say neoprene tongue, it's kind of all sewn in together. Because it's a basketball shoe, I feel like obviously it's got that sort of thing around the ankle where it's trying to give a bit more support. So it's kind of like a sock. But yeah, there is like a neoprene part to the sock. That's kind of where the tongue would be. And there's like a bungee and a bungee tie, which is kind of cool looking, right? The next part of the shoe, which is interesting, is the lacing system. Right, really cool looking laces, really sort of chunky laces, and it's got some plastic bits that come up the sides, right, and go around the back, right, and the plastic bits that come up the sides, right, 3 straps, right, and at the tips of the straps are the holes for the lacing system that goes across, right. Now, for anybody that likes football, anyone that has watched football over the years, right, for me, this is very, very interesting. Those 3 straps on that kick remind me of France 98, the World Cup in France 98. It's very specific, I know, but I'm going to explain the reason why. Now, Adidas, which is important, it's an Adidas shoe, and this is an Adidas connection. Adidas created a football boot, one of the best football boots ever created, the Adidas Predator. Now, during that tournament, players like Zinedine Zidane, David Beckham, the big boys, rocked that particular sneaker. And I'll throw it up on screen and you'll see that 3-stripe design is exactly the same, almost to a T, to the design that is on this Fear of God Adidas collab. And to me, even though that's a little bit of a bite, it's kind of an internal bite because it's biting from an Adidas football boot, which is an Adidas silhouette, right? And it's an Adidas sneaker, so it's kind of okay, and it kind of pays homage. And I actually think, if I'm being really honest, I think it's probably the coolest part of the shoe. If I'm being truly, truly honest, it's really, really cool to see that. I've not seen that on any other shoe. And if you have, please correct me in the comments and let me know. But yeah, that's a really, really cool part of the shoe. But veering off onto the other parts of the shoe. So the interesting part, well, not the interesting part, but so the shoe is, as I said, it's a boot-like silhouette. The dominant color on the upper is all one color except for the toe box, right? And there was 2 colorways that were dropped. It was kind of like a creamy off-white colorway, cell colorway, and a black colorway, right? So imagine for the black colorway, let's say it's predominantly black, but the toe box was sail, and vice versa for the other colorway, right? Which is pretty cool, right? If I'm being honest, it's giving me a lot of similarities to Jerry's previous designs. I'm being completely honest. Yeah, Air Fear of God Raid as well. Very, very similar vibes, and I know they're slightly different. So obviously, the common theme is they have a similar. They have the common designer. Have a common design. It's the same designer, but he's almost designed the same shoe 3 times. And is this a situation of, if it's not broke, don't fix it, or is this a situation of, can't think of anything else, so let's go with this? You let me know what you think in the comments below, right? I have to say though, given what I was talking about in terms of the 750 connections and the similarities, that's a lot less in actual silhouette. Doesn't really look the same as a 750. It's not giving me 750 vibes. And to confirm that, Kanye was in attendance for the actual drop of the collection, along with Pusha T, which is nice to see as well. A little good music connection there. But as I said, there was a lot of similarities to Jerry Lorenzo's previous silhouettes. I'm not mad at the shoe. I like the shoe. I don't know if it's something that I would rock. It's very obviously heavily basketball based, and it looks like a performance shoe. It looks like a shoe that you want to play basketball in. Even though it's a very cool looking shoe, very futuristic looking shoe, it looks like a shoe designed to play basketball in. There is a collection. There is a shoe. We don't have a release date, but at least we have clothes and kicks. And I'm sure at some point, probably during the course of this year, that's going to come out and it's going to probably do decent numbers, right? And Adidas needed to do something really, really well. Guys, let me know what you think in the comments below. Fear of God, Adidas, the basketball sneaker. Do you think it was worth the wait? Do you think that's 2 years worth of hard work in that sneaker? Do you see it? Do you see it? Let me know what you think in the comments below. You can holler at me in the comments. You can holler at me on all forms of social media. My name is PROZECH. On every form of social media, just holler at me and I will always holler back.